Hey, Exiles, welcome to another episode of the Still Sane Podcast. I am here with Farham to discuss Path of Exile 2's 0.4 patch, our reception to it, our thoughts surrounding all the happenings with the Second Wind League, the economy, and what's happening in the future with PoE2. Surely there's an update coming out in April, right? GGG. Farham, I want to get us started with first impressions of the patch. What were your honest feelings when Beta the Vaal popped into the game?
I was cast myself back to the league start, and I would definitely I would have classified myself as a net detractor from the league mechanic for sure. I was bitching and moaning about it quite a lot, being in the way of the campaign experience. When I went in there, it's got like 10 mobs in it, and 2 of them are hiding in the corners of these rooms that I have to run around the entire room looking for them. Yeah, and I found the whole thing really, really frustrating, and I was bitching and moaning about it a lot for the first week. And I would actually, retrospectively, I probably should have given it the time of day straight away, because I wasn't really fair to it or Jonathan and his fantastic coding. He should definitely code more league mechanics.
Okay, so you actually didn't enjoy the campaign. See, I was a campaign fan. You just were frustrated with like the mob placement and all that stuff.
Yeah, the few times we did it, because we leveled through the campaign as a group as well, and then we were going straight into group content, and it just wasn't immediately scaling into group content without some investment, and it just felt like it was in the way, and then only one of us was getting energy. The energy wasn't distributing properly. And I think there was some issues that were compounded by us being in a 6-man
Right.
that maybe probably wouldn't have experienced if I was playing it solo.
100%.
So
you were ahead of the curve, though, because, once you get to Endgame, group play. Ooh, wow. Group play in the temple. I've seen some crazy clips.
yeah, but we went straight down the Abyss path. I thought the way they introduced Abyss into core was awesome. And I was really shouting about how good that was, how the tablets worked, how you could juice up with the effectiveness. That all seemed really, really good, and we had a good time doing that for the first sort of week, 10 days anyway. So
yeah,
it was nice to see how they made those mechanics core and how well that
before
gelled in.
we pop more into the league mechanic, the end game, what are your thoughts on the feel of it right now? Because I'd argue that it's actually pretty great. I think the precursor tablet change was actually quite powerful and a great change overall, especially the rare precursor tablets. Once you actually unlock that by beating the Arbiter of Ash, that transformed the end game for me personally, and I've been hooked. I played this league more than any other league in the past. I just got my second character to level 92, and he just downed the Arbiter of Ash in Second Wind this morning on the stream. Are you feeling the same way with either in solo play, group play, or is it kind of more of the same as 03, 02, 01?
I've actually got 2 characters to level 100 this league.
Played a lot.
And it's probably a league I've played more than any other, but I've been fully engaged with the temple mechanic on all my characters. The rare tablets, they were really good, and there was some really awesome ways to set up for solo farms and stuff that I was looking at in the first couple of weeks. And they definitely added a lot of I think having the 4 mods on the tablets definitely added a lot of juice to the maps, and I think that's a good step forward. I don't know whether they should lock it behind the Arbiter. I don't know whether maybe it should be an easier unlock than that, because it is quite well, I don't know. It's a pivotal change when you get it, and how juicy your maps are and how juicy you can make them. You can start combining things like rarity and effectiveness and making some fun things happen with the drops. So
it's the swinginess with Arbiter is the whole thing with me. So I made a recent video basically saying, hey, the path to Arbiter is very RNG. The video only has like 16,000 views, 500 comments, and people in it's one or the other. It's, I'm level 95 and I just got my first Citadel. I'm level 94. I haven't found a Citadel. I've gone straight out in the line. I want to get the rare tablet unlocked, but I can't find any. I just got to buy the keys. And then on the other end, it's, well, not finding Citadels. These people, they're stupid. What? They're lying. They're lying in the comments. All these people. The Citadels are very easy. Come on. GGG keeps buffing the drop rates. And that tells me that it's just random, just people having bad seeds, the citadels being right outside the fog, people choosing to go straight when they should have gone to the left and then straight.
If they'd
And
zigzagged a little bit, they would have just uncovered just enough of the fog. But that in itself, I think that is a bit of a problem. I think it being locked behind something that you have to find in a procedurally generated atlas is a problem. I think the Path of Exile 1 had some great systems. You do a number of maps in a zone, and then you fight a pinnacle boss, and then that gives you a key, and you do that across so many zones, and then you can put the keys together. That sort of do a number of something, and then you can proceed is a lot fairer, and then you've got a set goal, and it's a lot less frustrating. I'm not a big fan of the Atlas anyway. I think it was thematic in 0.1 because you left Act 3, and then you're you're still in the past, right? And then that's not really where we are anymore, and it feels kind of weird and kind of. I hope they change it in 0.5 and things are a bit more.
Ooh, I want to dig into that a little bit. Okay, I think I may have been convinced by grinding your games with the Infinite Atlas, with changes, of course. One of the big ones being, like you just said, the Path to Arbiter. I feel like there are deterministic ways to do, especially your first one. I think one of the easiest ways is like when you, I don't know, complete your first tower, or when you visit the Burning Monolith for the first time, you just get the nearest citadel lit up. Doriani says, "Oh, look to the north. There is a citadel there that has Geonor in it," and it moves your map. He does this little cinematic. It moves your map from the Burning Monolith to the Iron Citadel, which is 4 screens north. Boom. And there's a cluster there. There's a cluster there. And he'll be like, "Oh, there are 2 other citadels nearby, blah, blah." Right? I think that'd be great. And very simple. And it keeps with the exploration aspect of the Atlas. Now, that's what I wanted to ask you about. What do you not like about the Atlas? Do you just not like the theme? Do you not like that it is infinite? Do you not like the exploration?
I don't like that it's infinite. I really don't. This league, I think it's been even worse, because this league I've just been running maps, going in, finding the energy, and then closing the map and using the jumping tower.
Grand Project?
Grand Project, yeah, that allows you to jump to any map. Just been running those, and I've run a lot of maps, like a real lot of maps, and it just grey squares whenever I go anywhere on it. It doesn't load very well, and yeah, it's. The change you just proposed is interesting, because that solves one of the main problems I see with it, which is there's no deterministic way to progress down what you have to gain things like map power and juicing power. And I think the way you've just proposed that's quite an easy solve, right? And it still keeps with that theme of having this sort of feeling of exploration, which is a cool feeling when you're looking for your nexus and things like that. But then it starts to sort of pick a direction and go in a line is the most efficient way, and it's
it'll be really interesting to see what they do with all the quest progressions for 0.5, because Mark and Jonathan have both stated, hey, we know that there's an issue with just the way that you're pathing through the game. You get to Endgame and it's like, oh, you got to go kill Zesht right now, and there's no real not a mini boss, there's not mini encounters, and it sounds like they really want to build that out for each of the league mechanics. And I presume they're also going to do that for the main quest, which is Arbiter, while introducing better ways to progress. All the different, Arbiter is the only standalone, I guess, right now, where it's very random. All the others, I would argue, you can determine, you farm splinters, right? In the league, they're all splinters now.
Tablets,
right, exactly. You just run that content. You will get it. You will 100% get it. With Arbiter, it's the only random one. I kind of like the world that we were in 0.1, honestly. They're all a little different. It was interesting, and I don't know if they're going to do that once they flesh out the quest system, with Olroth, right? I think it's Olroth, right? For Expedition, you would have to randomly find the boss, essentially. There were no runic splinters, okay? For King of the Mists, it was you had to find the audience with a king. Zesht was the only one, if I recall correctly, with the splint, and then there's Simulacrum with splinters, right? I like that there's instead of a unified system, I did like that there was uniqueness to every system. We'll see what they do. You're right. It's gonna how How big do you think this is going to be? I know we'll get to the temple because I know you're a snake god, but how big do you think the 0.5 is going to be? Like, I feel like there's a lot more because they delayed. There's a lot riding on it from the player perspective, and I'm sure GGG also feel like, oh crap, this has to be good.
At the moment, I think there's two things that I believe 0.5 they've already confirmed is going to be focused at the end game, with 0.6 focused at the campaign. I think that was in one of the interviews. I didn't dream it. But if 0.5 is going to be focused at the end game, I think the key thing that they need to bring up to speed, I suppose, is what was introduced and put in as a stopgap in 0.1. So Simulacrum, Breach, Expedition, and Ritual. Those 4 mechanics, which were sort of, oh god, we've got to put something in so there's an end game, because I think some game went live without an end game and got dragged just before PoE2. So they forced an end game in. We've now had some pretty good end game content added in the form of Abyss and then Temple. Abyss has then gone core, and it feels really good, as I said earlier, as a core mechanic. But slowly, over all of the nerfs that have been added in since that have come in from 0.1, I think a lot of what was good about at least the drops in Breach and Simulacrum, like, they're kind of gone. Certainly not there. You're hunting for like very, very specific drops, and mostly those lineage supports now.
Yeah.
But if there was just something that sort of changed those mechanics so they're a bit more in depth, like different Breach bosses with different loot tables, Simulacrum maybe not always taking you to clear Fell and having maybe a different progression path. Expedition kind of does actually feel in a good place, but I'm sure they could think of a way to spruce it up. I just can't.
Right.
And Ritual as well. I think, again, Ritual kind of feels in a good place, but I never really liked Ritual anyway, so I don't really engage with it.
Yeah, I think you're right on the mark there. It's going to be a new league mechanic that probably is on the size of Rise of the Abyssal, Fate of the Vaal, and then the goal is to bring up all those other ones, which
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a new league mechanic. If they put all the work in bringing those up to speed, that would be a lot to pull in, as well as a new league mechanic.
No, you heard Jonathan. Jonathan's opinion on this is like his opinion on not doing mid-league changes now. We got to do it. It does not sound like
does that mean Jonathan's going to get his hands dirty and give us something as broken as release Temple again? Because that would be awesome.
Okay. All right. Take me through your saga with the Temple, man. All right. How engaging did this thing feel? Because on my YouTube feed, every day for the past month, I have seen, snake session time. Oh, I've got a giant snake. Oh, long snake going, blah, 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 snake going. So bring me through how you and your friends have been enjoying this mechanic, dude.
Well, so I didn't really engage with it, and as I said, I was a net detractor for the first week. It was getting in the way of what we were trying to do and run Abyss. It wasn't really working as a 6-man. And then it was Milky that released a video sort of explaining how you could chain these things. And Milky's video was really good, but I refused to watch it out of a stubbornness until Gondi eventually got me to watch it. But by this time, I'd made a complete fucking mess of my first temple. Was sitting live, and people were like, "Dude, you the quickest thing you can do to restart this is just make a new character." And I was like, I really, this is terrible. I'm in a terrible place emotionally. So we got to this point where I was like, I know what I need to do, but I'm in this shit situation where I can't really do it. And this is when like the Holton cheese and everything was there. So I'm in this sort of ethical conundrum in my own head where I'm like, do I do the Holton cheese to fix this? And decided not to, and then was sitting on stream, and it's the first time I've ever rage quit a stream, and it was like 6 o'clock at night, and I was like, do you know what, I can't do this. I can't sit here and destroy this snake this slowly. So I closed stream, but I got was talking to the guys. I was like, can someone just help me fix this? And we sat, and for about 10 hours we did the Holton cheese. We did the Holton cheese. But we didn't do it to build a new temple. We did it to destroy the one that was there, because there should have just been a reset temple button, and there wasn't. I didn't want to make a new character. So all I'm doing is going in with the energy, running out and pressing reset temple. I'm not putting any rooms down. I'm just letting one room go back at a time. Just one room, one room, one room, one room, one room, all the way back to the start. And that's why I'm doing the Holton cheese. And then I went back on stream the next day and we started building and started building the temple properly and ethically. And we spent a week building this temple. We got it. It was pretty good. Like we'd run it as a group and we'd get like 200 divines out of it. It was fine.
Insane.
It didn't use any of the tech or anything like that. And everything was going great. And it got to the Friday and like all the guys were back. We were on a 6-man. People had just come back from holiday and like we're just chatting shit on Discord. And I just hear this noise from one of the guys. And I hadn't realized what I'd done, but when I was building out the snake while we were talking, I'd connected the two ends of my 2 snakes. And this was on a Friday when everyone had just come back, and it's the first time we'd experienced the temple as a proper 6-man, as all the officers. So the first snake exploded, and I'm sitting there going, "That's okay. We'll just build a new snake. I actually quite enjoyed that. We'll try and do all this Russian tech and stuff." So building the snake for like an hour, all of a sudden chat's lighting up. Patch, 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 patch. I'm like, "Oh, it's fine. Whatever the patch is fine." Go read the patch notes. You can now only lock tier 3 rooms. And I had, in the last hour, blown up my first snake. So everyone's panicking, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what am I going to do now?" I don't really have a choice now. I don't have a Giga Snake from before. So I'm like, I'm going to have to go through the process of making a snake, only locking tier 3 rooms, which I spent the whole weekend doing. And I made a bunch of videos about it. And I was like, "Guys, it's still possible, but you've got to do all the moves like this, and you've got to plan like this." And I made all these videos. It was all fine. And then GGG reversed the change on Monday anyway. So just ended up building a Giga Snake in the end, but started a new character to build the Giga Snake. I was like, "Do you know what? It's new character time," and things have blown up and stuff. So, and then build it with all the silly tech, and yeah, it was really fun.
I think the peaks and valleys, dude. Peaks and valleys, like just whoop, 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 like that. Essentially,
it really was. It really was, and the fact that the guild had like helped with building this temple, and then I'd blown it up the day we were all back. It was. Yeah, and then GGG changed things. Oh god, that was a chaotic weekend.
Oh yeah,
the forums were absolute. I couldn't stop reading the forums that weekend. The disaster.
I've never seen people as upset as they were about not only the Holton stuff but the economy. And to be fair, Farham, I know we talked about that. You probably know my opinion, but I said, Holton exploit, ban them, and I've changed my opinion on it. Because GGG is not banning people. So I don't think it's an exploit. I've changed my mind. Clever use of unintended game mechanics. Well, because if they're not banning, it's not an exploit. Steel Mage actually convinced me of that. He was like, "Dude, if GGG is not enforcing crap like that, then you can't, it's not an exploit. It's not a game exploit, because exploits are against like PoE. You can't get banned for those." So
it was actually more efficient to run it using to run it in maps as a solo with a fast moving character. It's more efficient to get your energy that way, especially once GGG had finished the changes when they increased the number of crystals. But I mean, even before the Holton cheese, because the Holton involves you having to run with a lower level character, so you needed someone to boost you. Yes. Half the time you wouldn't get the energy. The mobs that would actually spawn on the thing sometimes would bug out and just turn into like they're flying. Sometimes you get the dudes that turn into the bats. And they would just keep flying in bat form, and they just wouldn't land. It'd just take ages, and it was just really inefficient and frustrating. So, yeah, I think it's annoying to see, especially when it then gets changed, and then you can't do it. But there was lots of other ways to light radius meta. I mean, light radius was a whole thing this league. It was awesome.
Yeah. Would you say this is your favorite league mechanic added so far in PoE2, or does Abyssal still top that list?
No, I think this was my most fun league mechanic. It's really I liked the meta progression. I liked that there was something going on beyond just building your character. Yeah. And actually, because of the way the effectiveness scales monster toughness, there was actually a reason to really push characters to be a lot stronger than there has been. In other leagues, it's like, right, I just need to just one-shot this boss, 13 million health. The rares have got a lot more than 13 million health in that temple, or effectively, because of effectiveness. And there's like a reason to push the characters. So it just felt, really engaging, and like there was a lot more to do. in terms of build, and then obviously building the temples. Like if you're building one of the ones with all the illegal Russian tech and the Roman roads and all that, it's like a 30-40 hour project, or well, 23 hours if you've got a temporalis, and you've got 40 hours if you're me and slow. But
right. Would you obviously you want to see it core in 0.5? What would you change about it? What do you think should change?
Well, at the moment, I mean, it's caused rampant inflation, right? And unless you've got one of those temples, it's really hard to keep up on any raw divine drops, which kind of pushes just a lot of normal mapping strats just out. I think it just needs its loot reduced. If they reduce the amount of loot to a quarter of what it is now, or even a fifth, I think it would be competitive, engaging, and not cause rampant inflation. That's all it's really done. It's just caused crazy inflation.
Yeah, with the divines. Yeah, I'm kind of pushing like nerf divine drop, nerf maybe like people are getting 2 headhunters or something a temple sometimes.
I got 4 in one run last night.
4 in one run.
So I've started testing using character rarity, and I'm dropping, like, I've gone to 150 character rarity with a 1,700% rarity temple, and all of a sudden I'm dropping like multiple tribal masks, loads of headhunters every run, as well as like 60 divines. It's not affecting the divine drops, but it's affected everything else.
Wow.
Do some tests on it. Actually, it's some interesting first findings worth exploring.
I saw headhunters were down to like 2 div yesterday.
Yeah,
the
only way they're worth money is if you double corrupt them with resistances,
right.
double resistances. Otherwise, they're just worthless. It's crazy.
This league mechanic, I think, once balanced a little bit more, I think will slot really well into the core game. And like you said, it's a great way to push your character. I even feel that with my characters. That's like when I was playing with my Spithic Tava, it's way harder than a regular map. Even with I don't have a snake. I don't have any snake. I'm just throwing a temple together. But I'm putting lots of rooms in it, and I'm trying to do the connections, and it feels tough. I like it. I really like it. It's very different from the typical mapping experience. So that being said, have you felt like any burnout at all creeping in on this, or are you good? You're just like April.
Quite good. So I'm
going.
thinking about making a negative rarity temple now on a completely different character. So, and I'm now also thinking about testing character rarity impact, because the numbers are so high that we should be able to test this relatively quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got some ideas and stuff I just want to look at. I'm just interested to see. I'm pretty sure they changed quite a bit about rarity this league. I'm just not sure what they changed.
Yeah, the rarity debate it's rampant. There's a lot of people. I saw a video a few days ago. Can't recall the creator's name, but it was like, rarity is not. There's no problem. Rarity. You're misunderstanding rarity, and it was all about negative rarity farming. Which my brother showed me the strat last night, dude. Where people are like buying negative rarity Venter's gambles. So my brother bought 6 quad tabs of regular rings and 2,000 Omen of the Ancients or something, and he's just going through and he's trying to get Venter's gamble, and he's divining them, or he's looking for negative rarity and then divining them to negative rarity, and he was just listing them for like 3 to 20 div per for these Venters. He made like a couple hundred div in 10 minutes. I was like, bro, what is happening?
I brought one off Mr. 9 Lives for 950 divines yesterday.
Holy what? See? But then me, while he's doing this, dude, I drop an exceptional base, white, two sockets, siren scale gloves, and it has a red name. And I've never seen a red tag on the Never Sink loot filter. And I'm like, whoa, red. What is going on? So I go, it was red and black. I'm like, all right, time to price check. In second win, people are listing it for 500 div. I go to the main league. It's like 450, 475 div for this base.
Yep.
It's selling like hotcakes. I'm like, what is going on? It's crazy. That's why people are doing negative rarity.
Yep. All the min-maxing.
Yeah, 100%.
It's that time of the league. Negative rarity comes in as a farm. I find it looks like about 2-3 weeks in, people are starting to pay quite big prices for bases. It's as soon as they've got, I would pay for that extra socket,
Right.
5 to 12 fizz damage does sound quite appealing.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of extra armor, all that. Yeah, and you have all the crafting currencies like hoarded, ready to go. Now you just need the start of the project. I had this debate with 0 Point Flux the other day. He was pro PoE1 crafting. I like the feel of PoE2 better. And honestly, until I started crafting a few items yesterday and the day before, so after my chat with him, and I was working with my brother and my friends on doing it because they've been doing it all week. And I really just don't, I just slam crap. But I was actually doing it step by step and just praying, kinda. And it is so much fun. And I like that the white bases are valuable. And it adds a whole nother level of chase items to the game. Because you have your crafting currencies, you have your like chase uniques, you have just good drops from the ground, and then you have these white items that will remain valuable the entire league no matter what. I actually really like that system compared to PoE1 now that I'm actively engaging with it, and I got to think about it after he challenged me on it, which I appreciated. I know you've played PoE1. I know you may have more hours in PoE2 than PoE1 at this point, but what do you like better? Do you like the whole PoE1 process of like spamming the alterations, hundreds, thousands on one item, using scourings once you hit bad mods when it's rare and just restarting on that same item? Or do you like that there's hundreds of thousands of bases that need to be picked up, sold, crafted on, and you're done pretty much if you screw up the base? Too bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can always restart, right? Because you can annul it back and start again most of the time, unless you hit a bad fracture, of course, and then you fecked. But I still am not a huge fan of collecting all of like the like going out and collecting a load of eye level 82 white bases and just like a load of Sekima sandals or something like that, and then selling them for 50x each. I find it laborious going in and out the map, picking them up. But at the same time, I think the exceptional bases and chasing the exceptional bases, well, that's almost like chasing tier 0 uniques, where you're looking just for maybe 1 or 2 drops across like a couple of maps or something like that, or a couple of drops in a temple. That's got a level of excitement, but for me, I'm still like, well, I miss the alteration orbs because I don't want to be. I'd like some easier ways to craft that base, and I suppose both have a place, right? I personally don't like picking up the white bases. I just don't do that farm. There's plenty of people that do. Not every farm's for every person, right? I don't like the inventory management side of things. As I said, find it annoying. I don't like the stash management side of things. Find it slightly annoying myself. So tend not to engage with those sorts of farms. But yeah, I think they've got a place, and if they're not going to bring in alteration orbs and that sort of thing, then these things have even more of a place.
I also think the addition of the perfect Og and Trans last league also helped quite a bit. Those are super, super powerful, I've found. I never get bad rolls. I haven't done mass crafts, but the crafts that I have participated in the past few days, I've hit well. So my bias is pretty clear because I've never bought a full tab, or I've never collected a full tab of the boot. I'm just doing a couple items, now and experiencing it. So maybe that'll change, because I'm jaded about PoE1 because I have participated in the, all right, I am putting 3,000 alteration orbs in this item. I'm going to click here, and I don't even have the scroll wheeler, so it is literally me left clicking like this, and I've rolled over like T1 fizz and crap like that on stuff before. So I don't know. I might feel differently in a few weeks, is all I'm saying. But right now, I prefer the PoE2 system. Okay.
It is a bit more deliberate. The PoE2 system is a bit more deliberate. Every click is more deliberate. And I get that. It feels like you're making something rather than you're just sitting there trying to read as fast as you can, which actually can be a bit headache-inducing in PoE1.
Headache-inducing, indeed.
Just taking in that line, all those lines of information, which you do have to read.
Right. So. Yes, you do. You do. Sometimes your brain moves slower than your finger, and it's just disaster.
Especially as I've crossed the wrong age of 35. Yeah, that started to happen a bit more often.
My wife just turned 30, so she has joined you, Farham, into the 30s. I'm still 28, so I got a long time. But I don't think 30, 35, that's not... Once you hit, sorry, anybody in chat, I think 50, you're like, okay, now I'm middle age, right?
Yeah, that's when you get the sports car.
That's when you get the sports car. Yeah. When you get the sports car and no, I'm not going to make that joke.
I think someone made it in chat. I think
Oh,
you're
they did.
fine. I don't think you need to make it.
Ah,
So,
there you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna do a callback to the
oh, thanks,
pre-pod
Fizznet.
with the little ring light thing. So yeah, but we don't need to do that. Okay. You've mentioned that you've restarted your character at least once so far, Farm. You might make another. What builds have you played so far in 0.4? What'd you start with, and
Well,
what do you play now?
I was absolutely set on League Start of doing Hollow Palm Invoker. I planned it all out before League Start. I was like, it'll work, it'll be fine. You just go crit, and it'll just work to get you to Endgame, and that worked. And then I just played it safe and did Falling Thunder Invoker, which can just one-shot bosses. But it was fine for Temple, but there wasn't quite enough area. So the most annoying thing was the things in the corner of Temple. So the problem I wanted to solve was hitting everything in Temple. So Whirling Assault looked pretty good, but the Invoker couldn't get it big enough. So I switched over to a Smith of Katava. But I've basically just been min-maxing the shit out of Whirling Assault the entire league.
Okay.
Now I have a level 40 Whirling Assault build and on the Smith, and it,
Level 40?
stack up. Yeah.
What is that max gem level that you get right now? Wow.
Yeah.
What's the
And you
AoE
get
like
more,
on that? Is that screen wide?
It is screen wide, yes. It goes up to 6.9, which is interesting.
Very
but then
interesting.
with-
Very nice.
But with when you get the headhunter buffs, you can no longer see the Whirling Assault. You just see the guy pirouetting around the middle of the screen. You don't really see anything. Everything's just taking damage. It's really, really like visual clarity is amazing.
Right. Incredible. Yeah, I'm sure with your 6-man group in the temple, visual clarity is at absolute peak. Okay. For sure.
Well, I've been doing a lot more solo recently, but people were bringing
Okay.
things like calamity bears and stuff, and meteors falling down and comets everywhere, and it was a bit of a mess. Yeah.
Just with one, I find it difficult on my bear. So wolf has been nice. Visual clarity has been pretty decent on the wolf. I like that. Pretty simple, pretty concise. So the invoker monk, I was kind of shocked. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I kind of wanted to pull them up. Did that die this league? I have not seen besides you, Farham, anybody talk about open palm. I know you started with it and you swapped, but
so Hollow Palm got like really, really nerfed. It was really only good last league because of all the attack speed stacking you could do. And they just nerfed the shit out of that. So, but it still does really good damage through campaign where you're not stacking attack speed. You're just going on all the skill gem damage. So it can basically get in, and that scales all the way up to level 20 really well. So it can get you into endgame and kill all the pinnacle bosses basically for free. You can do it with SSF gear, which is why I like to league start it, because if I happen to have a shit league start and forget to play the market or do anything like that, which I always do, then I can just have no divines and be fine. Make some divines from killing some stuff later.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've talked about this. I'm going to skip around in the questions a little bit because I think we talked about quite a bit of it. But this league, you mentioned that you had your first rage quit moment ever on stream. It was your first rage quit on stream ever?
Yeah.
Okay. So as someone who also, I didn't rage quit, but I released my first angry video ever due to being mad at the game and due to other stuff.
Yeah.
How did you kind of like rebound from that? Was it just like was it just you saying, all right, that was kind of silly. We're coming back tomorrow. We're coming back tomorrow, boys. Or walk me through that.
I was kind of lucky because all the guys were sitting on Discord, so I just jumped off the stream and just jumped back into Discord with them. I gave myself 10-15 minutes to just think that I've got two choices here. I can either engage with the league mechanic and try and make content about it, or I can not do that. I thought, so yeah, I just went and spoke to the guys. Asked if one of them happened to have a bit of time to help. They did, and then
you just need to give into your Holton dark urges. Is all that needed to happen. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Just sort of talk through the ethics of what we were doing while we were doing it, which just sort of settled my mind on it a bit.
This is okay. This is okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Oh,
and it was
No, I feel you. I feel you. How were viewers enjoying everything this league? Were there more, people upset than usual? Were people pretty chill in your streams? How did you find their experience?
Honestly, it did feel almost reactive to how I was, which kind of makes sense, because in the first week I was bitching and moaning about the league mechanic, and people were bitching and moaning about the league mechanic with me.
Right.
And then as it changed to me being a bit more positive about it, people got a bit more positive about it. And then the Discord started filling up of pictures of people's snakes, and I've got this far around the snake, and I've got this far around the snake. And yeah, about 3 weeks in, everyone started to get a lot more positive about the league mechanic, working with the league mechanic, getting the divines out, enjoying it. There's been a couple of people that are like, no, do you know what? People have generally been positive.
Yeah.
Especially the last sort of couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, I think so.
There was a period where people were quite negative when the lock change and then changing the temples so that the multipliers worked a different way. There were people a bit upset about that, but I think that I was a bit upset about that as well, because it's we've got to undo this and then redo this bit again, and rethinking everything mid-league is not fine.
Yeah, GGG. Listen, I'm glad they reverted that change. That was rough. The lock one, what I'm touching on, that was a rough
the lock one was particularly rough. I think they had to change how the temples worked and how those rooms multiplied together, because we were crashing maps, and this was happening regularly to everyone. Yeah. Especially it was too much loot, and it was hitting some sort of breakpoint,
and the servers were
crashing.
Yeah, they mentioned that. I think in one of the first updates that, hey guys, you're breaking the servers. We got to chill out. Jonathan was going wild. Okay, with C, he was just in there. He was in his what is it called, an IDE? Man, I haven't coded in so long, and he was just going hard, about at Zeri and the Vaal, just going it. He went a little too far. You mentioned
if the numbers reach 8,000%. That's fine. 8,000% is a perfectly normal number.
That is the cap. 8,000 is a good cap, right? Right. Okay, let's go.
That's good.
No, I gotta imagine. I mean, I know they did buff it, but I think it would have been fine unbuffed. Obviously, I gotta imagine, John. I wonder if they did testing beforehand. They're like, yeah, this is super rewarding. Maybe they figured out the snake. I don't know if they figured out the snake, but they had to have known, oh yeah, once people get to a level of investment, this is super rewarding. And I can only imagine them the first, week and a half, you see some of the top streamers, some of the top farmers saying, this is a dog mechanic. It's not rewarding. It's the worst. This league's going to die. This is bad. And then GGG does the panic buff, hotfix C or whatever. And right around then, people figured out, oh, not dog. Oh, this is the best mechanic ever in terms of raw rewards. Holy crap! So I'm just trying to imagine from like their perspective, like sitting back and thinking. I wonder if they knew that it was rewarding and they buffed it anyway, and they're like, players aren't going to figure it out, or if they were like, oh, maybe it's not rewarding. Let's buff it. It's like trying to think from the game dev's perspective.
They're probably a lot of people were experiencing it, I guess, with a low number of rooms, and they wanted to buff that end of it, but it soon rocketed into people figuring out the super juicy temples, and then by the time all those numbers multiplied together, I'm sure the numbers would have been fine to start with, and it probably would have been kind of balanced, and everything just got stupidly inflated.
It's so fascinating. It's unlike many. What is the last one? Delve. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, guys. But I would argue, since Delve, which was 2017, this is the first league mechanic in almost a decade that required a lot of time in for it to be ridiculously rewarding. A lot of the times in PoE1, this is why I got frustrated, because I wasn't If you fall behind in the game, you go into the league mechanic, and that's your catch-up mechanic. It's been that way in PoE1 and PoE2 for a long time. That's how you were almost guaranteed to get good drops, and it wasn't happening with the temple. So it was that slow burn. It just required that investment. And for someone like yourself who absolutely loves that sort of meta progression, I've heard it's the best mechanic ever added in PoE before. Like Snoobe was saying that. He was like, this is the best. Hands down. And then other people, this is dog. This is the worst. Hands down. It's so funny.
I would say that the temple started to get rewarding after about 10 hours investment, 10, 15 hours investment, and then you're min-maxing it for the next 20 hours, right? So it's but someone that can only play a couple of hours a day, then that's a week. That's a
Mhm.
week to start getting anything out of it. Where every day you're just gonna be like, this is, oh god, I'm not progressing at all, and things are getting more expensive, and that
Right.
10 div quarter staff's now 30 div. Shit.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. But then again, that's if you're building the snakes, right? There are other ways to get more instant rewards from the temple. There were lots of ways you could run it. I think a lot of people focused on the snakes, but actually, Atziri dropped some pretty spicy items. I think the chess piece was going for quite a lot, unidentified. There's a number of the jewels as well that, if you hit big on those, were worth quite a lot. I don't know if they were selling well identified, but that's a much quicker way to interact with the temple.
Yep, and
So
corruption currencies, all those sell for quite a bit too. That's one thing that I'm really gonna try next league, especially because this league mostly I think it's dead. Most people, it's not dead. That was an exaggeration. Sorry, I'm being a YouTuber. It's not dead, but most people have moved on, right? And most people aren't consuming the league content. Everybody right here in the chat or watching the VOD, you are the minority. A lot of people have made their conclusions about it and they've moved on. Next league, because I realized that I think the dooming it spreads so fast, so quick, and it was like the snake is the only way. If I'm not snaking, I'm not playing, and I don't like that mentality. I think it's wrong at this point. After investing a lot of time, after research, after playing it myself, that's so wrong. There's so many different avenues, like you said, through the temple, or just through other parts of the game, to get rich and hit these rewards that you really want to, like the lineage supports. It will take time, right? But the thing is, I'm pretty sure it would have taken the same amount of time in other leagues. Everybody's thinking, right, oh, well, an Adorned is going for 1 mirror right now, unidentified. And last few leagues it went for, I'm pulling it out of my butt, guys, 200 div or something. A tenth of that. Right. Well, that's just because of, that's just the inflate. The whole market is like acting around this, right? That means the stuff you're dropping base is going to sell for quite a bit more. Omen of Light, 50 div or something right now.
Level 20 spirit gems, 60 divines.
Right. It's all. Somebody in my chat mentioned like perception is reality, and that's bad. Reality should be reality, but the perception just outweighs everything of people perceive. Got to fight back against that, and I think that's going to be my goal. Like, no, guys, don't let this perception rule over you. Like, there's so much fun packed in. You just gotta see it for what it really is instead of what people are perceiving it as. It's such a fascinating thing to see with this game, man, and other games, honestly. But I play a lot of this game, so yeah, been fun to figure out.
Yeah, I think I think next league I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna throw myself a bit more at the league mechanic, not detract from it. Not detract from it until I've given it the time of day. If it deserves to be detracted from, then I'll do it then. But once I've given it a fair shot, not just be like, it's rubbish. Just get in the way.
Right, like not jumping to. That's self-improvement. I've got a bunch of sticky notes now, to help center myself. And one of them essentially is, don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume the worst in people. Assume the best in people. Assume the best, like, intentions and all that. So that's what I'm going to do with the next league mechanic. It should be really interesting. Okay, I know, Farham, we've talked about your, honestly, the most scuffed moment of the league, most hilarious moment, connecting your snakes. Oh, that's terrible. Very rough. Did you have any memorable W's? Have you dropped a mirror? That's one good one.
No. Dropped a mirror. No, dropped 4 Hinakora's logs. Dropped a mirror.
Well, you're not a real gamer then. If you haven't dropped a mirror in the temple and you've got a juiced up snake. Come on, man.
Did have one early. So early on when we were doing the group play, I was like, we should invest in an unidentified Adorned because they'll go up in price, right? They're not going to be worth anything now, but they go up to 150% now. People are going to want them in End League. We should just chuck 25 divines at one. And that's all it cost, was 25 divines, not a mirror. So that was quite nice. Picked that up and then got a bit drunk because it was over Christmas. And I was like, it's quite likely to be worth more than 25 divines now. And I checked it and then I identified it and it came out as an 129%, which I think that's currently worth about 2 mirrors.
So, yes. That's
so that's
insane.
that 25 divine investment early league, the guild, it's probably going to pay dividends.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Adorned.
That was nice.
Man, did you see the thing that happened with one of my very casual friends getting the double identified on Adorned dude in 4 runs?
Yeah, I think I saw your. Did you tweet about it?
I tweeted it. I had to.
Yeah.
Because
I think I saw your tweet or whatever they're called now.
Yeah,
X'd about it.
Yeah, his selling history was the Adorned, some 1 div item, and then another Adorned for 4,300 divine orbs. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, what is this? Come on, can't be real. The luck was insane. Okay,
I've had guys have been dropping mirrors. There's been screenshots of mirrors coming up all the time,
everywhere.
Just with temples and stuff. It's been crazy, this league. I can't remember. One of the guys has been tracking exactly how many mirrors are being traded on one of the things, and it's 100. It's crazy numbers.
Higher than ever. Hello.
Yeah. Oh wait, whoops. It's because I've got my hand in the zoom in.
It goes
position against the side of my head.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to have one of those cameras. Did the exact same thing.
I can get it to follow me around the room as well.
Isn't that cool? Is it what is it called? The camera called? I can't remember.
A Tiny 2 by Obspot.
Yes, Obspot. Yep. That's what I had. Yep. They're very nice.
Yeah.
So it's still my mobile camera. If I go anywhere, I take that camera with me. Okay, we're gonna have a spicy question here. A little spicy topic. I want to talk about PoE2 and PoE1. And I want your input. I know you haven't played as much PoE1 as PoE2 right now, but you have played PoE1. What do you think this league did better than, recent Path of Exile 1 leagues? And where do you think PoE1 still wins in your eyes? Is there an arena in which they win?
Yeah, I think there's a depth of uniques available in PoE1 that are very build enabling, right? And there's also you really can make most skills. I say most skills work individually into Endgame with the right sort of thinking, the right sort of build. And the build diversity there is obviously still really good. I think that comes to PoE2 in time, right? Because it's just going to come as they add more league mechanics as more uniques come in. But at the moment, PoE1 still got it beat hands down. There's also a lot more. I don't know, actually. I feel like the PoE1 crafting has become bloated over time. So I think PoE2 is actually starting to edge out a bit there.
Yeah.
But the build diversity in PoE1 is obviously hands down much better than PoE2. And that's just a passage of time thing.
Right.
Why not? Do you think that?
Why no Druid farm? Why didn't you try the Druid? There's
I did.
Really Oh, you did. You bounced.
I did one stream. Oh. I did one stream on the Druid. And I hated it.
Hated it? Oh, those are strong words, dude. You don't mean that. You mean you just don't love it yet. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. Sorry, let's say the optimistic route. Yeah, I just don't love it yet. I tried a meteor bear and I didn't like it. I think I probably would have got on more with the wolf form, but I just wasn't. It didn't sing to me. It didn't sing to my heart.
Okay.
That's just it's too much like the Invoker. But I don't know. I was watching you fight Gianor earlier.
Why were you watching that?
Animations were all very cool.
Why were you watching that?
Well, I kept watching because I was kind of trying to figure out why none of the animations were happening properly. Like when he was calling down the laser beams, you had like a fraction of a second to react, and I was like, why?
I crashed during the fight. So yeah, I crashed during the fight. I had the texture, the streaming, whatever, where you freeze, the gears appear and everything. So so animations weren't so I was scuffed. There was no way I was going to win that fight. He had like 50% Ellie res. I don't have Rakiatas. I couldn't build up the freeze fast enough, and then the animations weren't showing. There was no way I was going to be able to beat him.
I couldn't stop watching because I was wondering what the hell were going on with the animations. And I was like, at some point, you're going to get hit by one of those beams because you can't see them.
100%, and it happened. You're totally right. I got hit by one of those beams, and it was a. I think I got hit by 2 at the same time, probably insta death. So, yeah, that was closing out second win for me.
I think the Oracle does actually look like quite a fun class. I think the way it opens up the skill tree, I think that's probably. I'll probably give that a look before the league's out just to see what's there because I haven't looked into it. But yeah, the shaman side of things,
that's fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't very excited for either of the Druid Ascendancies, but the shaman is the one I played. Actually, really liked it. And the Oracle, like you said, it just looks so cool. All the passive tree edits are actually fascinating. So they did a really good job with that. I hope we see more stuff like that in the future. That what the Pathfinder does now, where you can have the different starting area. Very, very cool stuff. I like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
For
the
the
Pathfinder
tendencies.
changes as well. Those were really interesting. Again,
Yeah.
haven't played a Pathfinder yet, but that is. Yeah,
There you go. Try Pathfinder. There you go.
try
That's the
Pathfinder.
min-max class this league, isn't it? I think, or
No,
is
I
that
was
Blood
just going to
Mage
play a
still?
Ritualist so I could stack up more Rarity.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Do
Farham,
the
I
meta
know
save
you
thing.
wanted a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the pod to kind of discuss Second Wind, which is the private league that I ended up hosting alongside a few of my friends, and maybe the impact on the core game, if it had any impact at all. I've been playing it the past few weeks. Like I just said, think I might be finished out with just my characters. I just beat Arbiter of Ashen. Second Wind was very fun. What are your opinions on private leagues, especially ones that grow to be that size for
I
PoE2?
think being able to grow one to that size is obviously a fantastic achievement. Hats off to all you guys that put that together. Like it's awesome. My personal opinion is you did it about 3 weeks too early.
Right.
It felt like if it was starting now, like we've probably got like 2 months of private league before the new league, and it would be halfway in the league. This league has just got to silly prices now, where everything costs like 15 mirrors, right? Okay, fine. But if we had a private league now that was that big, that would be like getting to experience the league again for everyone. And I think it would probably have even more uptake than when you did it.
You're right.
It sort of, I think it really picked up. There was a whole bunch of reactive patches from GGG around Christmas, New Year, right, when they're running on the slim down, and I think that's when it really started to pick up a lot of traction.
Yeah,
And I think people just wanted to just start something when all of that was settled, and
that's it.
it kind of made sense because of how GGG were
Yeah, it wasn't
flip
even.
flopping.
Yeah, it wasn't even. I think some people thought like, oh, it's going to be like it's going to be a better economy. That was never the pitch. It was going to be an economy reset where everybody is on a more level playing ground. There's no Holton. The temple is in a stable state, right? It's going to be way smaller. It's basically it's gonna be closer to SSF than trade, in my opinion. And that is exactly how it's kind of evolved. Prices are crazy. Prices fluctuate like wild. There's lots of people who are playing the snake. And I saw some people commenting on my video like, yeah, I'm doing the snake in your league. I'm ruining your private league. And I'm like, you know how many people are doing this? That's the Strat this league. I bet there are hundreds, if not thousands of people doing the snake.
Everyone's doing the snake.
You're not special doing the snake. Bro, you're following a YouTube video on how to do the snake. There are hundreds of people like you. The exact same thing happened. Like Ancient Bones, I sold one for like 40 div or something. You know,
yeah, so the
same price.
The prices start to match up.
They match.
And of course, because it's the temple causing the inflation because it generates too much loot. And of course, people were going to do it on the private league.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, when I was sort of umming and ahhing about joining it, I was like, how ethical am I going to be? Because there definitely was a
chill.
Initially, it was like,
chill.
No, let's get away from all the unethical shit that's happened. And I was like, what if I'd be determined to find new unethical shit.
Hey.
So I just
people did.
My heart's not in the right place.
People did, you know, like X the Farmer X, who I'm having on Monday. He did the Blackwood unethical stuff in Second Wind. I saw that, Farmer. I saw
his short about it. I saw his short about it, where he's just the smile he's got, where he's asking if it's ethical or not.
Yeah, it's ethical, guys.
Just cracked me up.
This is ethical, right, everybody? Yeah, it's not Holton. It's not Holton.
It's in a different place every time, right? It's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Guys, it's fine. I agree with you. Running and building your temple seems to be so. This is disastrous. You ready for something? This is how little of like content creators I watch or how little I understand the game sometimes. I only realized 2 days ago that you can, when you exit the temple, you can then click the console, press close temple, and then run it again in that same instance because you have all the crystals stacked up. For some reason, dude, I thought you had to like exit back into your map, go to a new map, re-enter through the portal, essentially, when you had crystals stacked up from like multiple dude. And
so you had to run at least one map to do
I
a
thought
temple.
that was and then I realized, wait, what is it? Close temple? And then it was like, oh, run temple. And I'm like, oh, what?
Did chat correct you, or did you
No,
figure it
I
out?
figured it out myself. No, I figured it out.
Nice.
I mean, but it's taken over a month. Well, I don't know if it was like this initially or not, but yeah. And I just ran 4 temples in a row. I was like, this is nice. I should have known about this before.
30 minutes of speed running maps so that you can stay in the temple for like 5 hours.
Exactly. So, yes. Yep. So I didn't even know about that, dude. I figured it out myself. So
yeah, wait till you hear about the Marty McFly tech where you can. Oh no, they fixed that. I think they fixed that. You used to be able to like keep a temple instance open with medallions on the floor, go to the next temple instance, open your temple, go back in time, pick up your medallions.
Oh my gosh. So you could like lock more rooms or something?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you haven't wasted any locks. There's been some crazy things that have been found out with the instant. There's been so many times where instance management and creating new instances has caused really unexpected stuff throughout PoE2's journey.
Yeah.
GGG need to just pause for a moment and think about what could they do with instances to wreck everything.
Maybe that's added to the list now. Maybe they're like, all right, time to check for 0.5 delve or whatever. So won't happen in the future. Maybe. I presume this was a fiery league, right? Like Dawn of the Hunt was on fire. There was huge backlash. This one was like more so like bugs, but this one was more so like design of the mechanic and unintended things, and just people, with the economy, and that pissed people off a lot. A lot of like, I think normal players, like I said, the whole perception is reality. I think GGG is going to be very keen to not have this happen in the future with PoE2 specifically. So
I think how they've evolved the temple mechanic and particularly the user interface over the patches, what they've got now in terms of user interface, where you can hover over the rooms, you can see what they connect to, you can see what upgrade what, that should have been in from day one. As well. I think a transparency on being able to learn these mechanics from the in-game interface, saying this is someone who makes content about how to do these mechanics, but giving people the ability literally to learn from the in-game is really important.
Yes.
And that eases a lot of frustrations as well, because then you can think and plan rather than just being like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
100%. Yeah, that feature added, just showing what upgrades what with holding control. Please, about it in the future. Take that extra time to code it in. It is big. It helps players who don't want to go out of game. And I'm sorry, Farham, watch guide videos. I just want to sit in the game and I just want to play the game. I'll put you on for some funny snake connecting stuff like that. But I want to be able to know how to build the temple myself.
That's part of the rewarding thing about playing a video game. I think for a lot of people, you do it to relax and to sort of challenge yourself a little bit, especially if you play a game that's got a bit of thinking to it and a bit of planning. And yeah, if you give people the tools to do it, they'll do it and have more fun.
Definitely. Okay, Farham, I have one final question for you to close out our podcast. I want you to tell me one thing you hope grinding your games never removes from Path of Exile 2. A lot can be removed. A lot can be changed at this point, dude. Temple could be gone in 0.5.
Yeah, I do. They've already removed all of the things that I hope they never removed. No, the simple answer would be Temple, but no, I actually hope they don't remove Abyss. I think the way that Abyss has been added in, I think it should, as it is really good. I think it's a solid mechanic. It's a solid mechanic that makes mapping really, really fun. And I'd like it to stay exactly as is, with only minor number changes if they're necessary for balancing. But I think as an actual mechanic, how it works, it's awesome.
That's great. What I'm hearing is every Abyss rare should have Shadewalker. And I love it. I love it. No, yeah, you're right. Abyss is great. It's such a feel-good mechanic. There's so many different things that can happen between like the abyssal pits spawning, getting your Amama Nama 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 News Void, kiting them out of the clouds, super fun. The Abyss Overrun map. They really cooked with that mechanic and its integration into the endgame. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
think the fact that people, it was only this league that people discovered that pulling them out of the voids would make them spit out loads and loads of loot. These things have been in the game for 6 months. People are still finding out stuff about the mechanic, right? So, yeah, that's good. I think that what they've done there is really great.
I like that mechanic. Are you pro kiting them out? I actually think it's cool, and I hope they do more silly or neat. What's the right word? Just janky stuff like that. That just, oh, that's interesting. That's a cool like kind of style. It makes you sit, think, pull them out. I know some people hate that, but I like it, and I hope they do innovative stuff like that in the future. Innovative.
It's rewarding the meaningful combat. That's for sure.
Yes,
it is. It is at least saying here's a reward for doing the meaningful. Here's a reward for doing the backflip, the parry, and pulling the thing away.
Right.
So, you know.
But you only have a couple seconds. Your damage better be good, because
that
void is going to spawn again, man.
Yeah, you can't just blast through the whole map if you want maximum loot. You've got to think about your approach, which is good.
Yeah.
And the game as well. It's fine.
It's always such like a lovely moment when you see that cloud appear too. You know, when you see those specific rares spawn and the cloud pops up, you're like, oh yes, Omen of Light here. I had 2 drop in one map the other day, and I just
it was like 100 div almost.
Dude, yes, it was beautiful.
Yep.
One of them dropped from a regular monster too, which I didn't know. It wasn't even a rare. It just dropped from a random mob. Omen of Light, boom. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I never get omens from the regular Abyss mobs, and it just popped from I wasn't even in an underground place. I was just on the overworld, killed a white mob, pop, Omen of Light.
I wonder if that's why people are like, well, they're really, really rare, because every now and again someone's been accidentally doing that, and then that's the only way they can drop.
Right?
As well, they're not. Yeah. Who knows?
We'll find out. We'll find out in the future. GGG, please keep doing those silly little special encounter ideas like that. I think they're inventive, not innovative. Inventive is the word I was looking for there. Okay, Farham, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on the pod again. Thank you for dealing with me swapping to today instead of last night. Lord of the Rings was excellent. I cried basically the whole movie because I'm a emotional mess, but it was beautiful.
Which bit got you the most?
Literally, okay, so when the movie started, man, and it's Galadriel's opening and the whole prelude and the music is playing, I literally started just tearing up like with excitement, and it did not go away the whole time, because it's just banger scene after banger scene. It's just like, this is amazing, this is incredible, this is the emotional beat, this is the action scene, this is the, just everything was great.
You must have just been just too young to catch it in the cinema when it first came out, whereas I was like the perfect age. I was like
4.
I would have been like 10, 11, 12.
I was 4 when Fellowship came out. And then, the end, the whole breaking of the Fellowship. Okay, one, I bawled my eyes out when Gandalf falls. And I'm like, and it's crazy because I can quote the entire film. I get everything. I know exactly what's coming. I know what everyone's going to say. I know what the music is going to be. And it still got me. I told my wife, as soon as it ended, when it ended, there were like maybe 15 other people in the theater. I stood up and gave it a standing ovation because, come on, that's got to be what people did when they first saw it back in 2001. But I told, this is the best movie I've ever seen in the theater. And I've seen hundreds of movies in the theater. Just everything. It was like built for the theater, and I've only seen it on the small screen. The music, the dialogue, just everything. Like, and it has the perfect amount of comedy too. It's not oversaturated, I think, like the current action movies. I don't know why people don't put in a whole bunch of work and just make these movies. It's just incredible. So I'm seeing Two Towers in 5 hours. So I am pumped. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Awesome.
Good. Anyway, Farham, thank you for rescheduling.
Time I'll be tucking into about my 4th or 5th drink, I would have thought. So yes.
Well, I hope you have fun at your sister's birthday tonight, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the pod. We'll have to do it again in the future. We'll see if they keep in the temple in 0.5. Hopefully the snakes will remain intact, my man. Everybody, check out Farham's stuff. All the links are in the description below. Twitch, YouTube, any other special shout outs, Farham, before we close?
Just to the guys that obviously helped me throughout the league. Gandhi, for helping me build that temple. I know it was super, super stressful. He's probably also asleep right now, but he can hear that message later. If it wasn't for him, the temple wouldn't have been saved, so he gets a special shout out from me. But yeah, thanks very much for having me on the pod against Try. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, thank
catch
you.
you again next league.
Yeah, next league indeed. Bye, everybody. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out Farham. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.